2, 1.
Blast off.
Yep, we are live. Uh, Welcome once again to an episode of Metalheads Unite, and we have a special guest with us this evening for us, morning for them.
Yep.
We're going to be talking with Mark Toretti from Contortion, Contorsion, not Torsion.
Yes.
So get that right, because there is a band named Contortion, and they're two totally different bands. So, got to get the S in there.
Yes.
So we're going to bring him in here and get this thing rocking and rolling.
Hey guys.
Hello, Mark. Hey, how's it going?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mark.
Hey, lucky for me, I work nights and I hear that a lot. So,
okay.
Which kind of drives me crazy sometimes because I'm one of those guys. I'm like, it's 7 p.m. So I mean, it's still p.m. So they come in and like, oh, good morning. I'm like, no, it's still evening.
Yeah.
Just because you woke up doesn't change the time of day it is. So
exactly. Yeah, it's still things are still exactly the way they are. Everyone's just on a different schedule. Exactly.
But it's a common thing. So, but
yeah, people are super cheesy over here. They like to do that they like to do that kind of stuff. Case of the Mondays and all that other shit. So.
Oh man, let's see here. Let's see.
Yes, so Mark is joining us from how do we pronounce this location? Is it Singen, Switzerland?
No, that's where our rehearsal space is located.
Okay, so
I'm from Surse. Surse, it's between Aarau and Lucerne. It's quite near to Lucerne.
Okay.
It's near the Alps in a really beautiful space.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I've only seen pictures, and I guarantee you, any of the pictures I've seen don't do that part of the world any justice. I mean, you guys are the first guests we've had from Switzerland, but I mean, we've talked to multiple bands from Sweden and Finland. Mm-hmm. So we have a little bit of experience with folks joining us from Scandinavia. So plenty of places in Europe, Germany and Belgium. So we've had quite a few European guests. You guys are the first band that has come to us from Switzerland.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. So we definitely appreciate you coming on for that and a multitude of reasons. And, one of them being that, like you said before we went on the air, that it is 5 a.m. where you are. So that's another big reason we're so grateful you decided to join us. But, going to talk with you about all things Contorsion. Let's start off with the new EP that just came out, Children of the Snake, that came out 2 weeks ago. First off, what made you guys decide to go with another EP?
I think it was because the last EP was a really good experience for us. With a last full-length album with the United Zombie Nations, we had like 12 songs on the album.
Yep.
And for me, it was like probably you work on 12 songs, and sometimes you lose the focus because so many songs, and we don't do that professional, so we all work beside that, and then. After song 8, you start to, okay, we have to finish, we have to rush, we have to finish. And then it's like you have 12 songs, but 2 less would be better. So then we started to, it's like Raining Blood. It's 10 songs, it's enough. 30 minutes, you go. And then we did just the EP with 6 songs, and we thought, okay, that's quite cool because you concentrate more on solos, more on the vocal melodies and stuff like that. So it was a real good experience, and then we decided to do just 6 songs again. And of course, it was because we were really lazy during the Corona. There was another thing. Yeah.
At least he's honest.
I was about to say the same thing. You can't fault him for the honesty. Want to take a real quick moment to say hello to Dana and Amy in the chat. Dana, our compadre from Metalheads, and my aunt Amy out in Hawaii. So Good evening and aloha to you both. We are
Hello.
here. We are here with Mark Toretti from Contorsion. All right, so like you alluded to United Zombie Nations and the fact that it had 12 songs. Were you guys one of those bands that limited yourself to the 12 songs, or were there some that just were left on the cutting room floor, as it were, or were the 12 songs that were on there the 12 there was we're doing these
Yeah.
12, we're finishing these 12, and we're just going to knock this out and move on?
Now we always have some more, let's say, not finished songs, but
Mhm.
ideas.
Yeah.
Mostly they are like probably I have to explain how we work together because it's not
Yeah, that's
like
fine.
we do all songs together in the rehearsal space. It's like more one guy comes with a finished song or come with some ideas and then we put them together. And our guitarist Simon, he mostly brings whole songs and then we sometimes we change things and take another riff or something like that. And we always have like more songs, like two or three songs more, but we don't finish them or we see okay no it's not working so we leave
Right.
them be.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
so then
it's
so then that would actually kind of, because you were talking about when you get more than 10 songs, you get up to 12. You talked about, harder to focus. So that actually can kind of lend itself to being a little bit more overwhelming, I guess, because if you're focusing on let's just call them demos just for sake of argument. If you're focusing on some demos, even if you're taking like maybe a riff out of this one and completely removing it to use it somewhere else, or maybe holding it, we like the riff, let's kind of hold on to it for later,
yeah
or maybe even a lyric works but not in a song that you got together. So I mean, when you're holding on to kind of pieces of songs in addition to the songs that you've got on the album that you're trying to finish, I guess it can kind of add to the mania, I guess, a little bit. So I guess I can kind of understand how that is. And it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of sounds like you guys are a little bit different than some bands. It doesn't sound like you have like a primary songwriter, a primary music writer.
yeah
Like you said, everyone is
yeah
bringing something to the table. Then you guys are kind of
that's
sifting
correct.
through it and putting it together.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean for the lyrics they come most of the time from me,
Okay.
but for the riffs, the songs itself, we almost everyone in the band contributes parts or songs.
Mm-hmm.
Even the drummer. Sometimes the drummer comes up with a whole song on the guitar. It's just
Oh, nice. Okay.
it's he plays it more like easy, and then we develop the riff.
Sure.
So yeah, so it's everyone contributes things, and of course in the rehearsal space we play the songs, we see if they work or we change things together then. But
Mm-hmm.
the ideas come from everyone in the band. So it's like the bassist wasn't so involved because he joined like 3 years ago. So it's
Mm-hmm.
more he just played the songs. Didn't bring ideas yet. But I think for the
Sure.
next record,
You're
he will
talking.
bring this.
You're referring to Ralph, right? He is the
Yeah, yeah,
he's the newest member of the band.
yeah. That's right.
Joined in 2020, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, Matthias and yourself are the only original members.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
So at this point, like Matthias and yourself are the only original members from the
Yeah,
start of the band.
that's correct. That's correct.
Okay, tell us a little bit about how Simone, John, and Ralph kind of found their way into the current state that Contorsion is in.
Yeah. So I mean, I started with Matthias like in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I played in different bands before, and he had his own band, and I saw his band playing at a festival, and then I thought, okay, this is a cool drummer, and then we were from the same village, or living in the same village, so we talked to each other, and we saw that we have the same background from music, like we're both really into thrash metal, and we started just hanging around and listening to music, and then decided to start a band. And then first I played guitar because I'm a guitarist. So
Okay.
we then started to look for people or for new members, and it was
Right.
was really hard. It was really hard because guitarists, we found guitarists like so many guitarists were around.
Okay.
Then we found a bassist that was really good, and then we searched for a singer. So there was no singer available at all. So then I decided, okay, I will step down from as a guitarist and take over the vocals, or try to take over the vocals then.
Okay, so you Dave Mustained yourself.
Yeah, I cannot play and sing together at once. So
Okay. All right.
I'm not a Dave Mustaine, so I would like to be, but so then we started searching two guitarists, and then Simon joined Contorsion, and we had another guitarist. He was called Luca. So we started as a 5-piece. So then, in 2000, I think 5 or 6, something like that, we were a complete band. And then we started writing, or we already had written some songs. And then we started writing together, playing the first concerts in 2007. Yeah, and then the train was rolling then. So, and we had just changes in the guitar position. It was like Simon, he was almost from the beginning, but then Luca left. Tom came in. He just stayed for 2 years, I think. He left, and then John came in. So John is still in the band. So he came in 2014. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So we were pretty stable the last, from 2014 until 2020. We were stable in the lineup. And then the bassist left he had another band, and he said, okay, he want to concentrate on the other band. So,
okay.
And then Rolf came in.
Yeah. Even looking back at, the past members that are listed on your guys' page over at, Encyclopedia Metallum, aside from the current lineup, there were only 3 other. It's only Danny, Luca, and Tom as the only other former members. So, as far as like lineup turnover, I guess you could say, you guys seem to have actually had, like you say, pretty good luck with keeping some stability within the band. So, that's I'm sure that kind of help things go. When you said you kind of had the train rolling in 2007 and you were playing your first concerts, were the first concerts on the heels of the Forgotten Souls demo, or did that come after you guys started playing concerts?
Yeah. So the songs that were on this demo were the first ones we have written. So at that time we had around, I don't know, 8 or 9 songs, something like that. Most of them were then on the first album.
Okay.
I mean, because like 2 songs, I think, from the demo were on the regular album, and now we have released another little here.
Okay, yeah.
A little CD. Right. It was just a special with the Children of the Snake EP.
Okay.
There are some demo versions. It's like the songs from the demo are on it.
Okay.
And two songs which were recorded with the first album but never released. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, nice. Okay, all right.
It's just some old school shit. It's also the packaging and everything. It's like it's just for fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So when you're writing and stuff, do you still tend to pick up the guitar and do a little bit with that when you're writing?
Yeah, not so much.
Not so much.
No, because our guitarists, they bring so many riffs. So sometimes I bring, I think for this EP, I didn't contribute at all musically.
Okay.
No. So because they have so many ideas. So, and when I come with my play, I mean, they are much more better players than me.
It's almost like, hey, I got these 2 ideas. Oh yeah, well, hold on, let's run through these 15 I got first.
I know. It's like I was also a little bit lazy, so because I have to write the lyrics, and sometimes that's a pain in the ass. So
well, I mean,
after like 40 songs, yeah, you have to write about things. You have touched a lot of themes already, so I had also a lot of, let's say, themes that were a little bit political and stuff. And sometimes after the pandemic, I didn't want to write about these things again because I was tired of them. Because you had such an overflow of informations during this time, I didn't want to tell people, okay, that's not right here, that's not right there. Just make some fun songs, or yeah.
You wanted to move on and get back to as close to life as it was before. Because I mean, I know the European, you guys over there got it a lot worse than we did. I mean, we've talked about it like at length with a couple of our other European guests before, but I mean, you guys over there faced a lot more. I don't know the exact, restrictions you guys had over there in Switzerland, but a lot, there were like total lockdowns in some places. You couldn't even go outside. We got lucky here, I guess you could say. I mean, like as lucky as you can get in a worldwide pandemic, whatever your feelings were on it, how real it was, what they were hiding, whatnot. So whatever. But I mean, everybody was affected by it. I mean, we were affected by it over here, but I mean,
in one sense or another, whether it be economical or
right. So yeah, everyone was affected by it, but I mean, everyone. I mean, because I mean, it lasted more or less for 2 full years. We were dealing with the effects of it in some form or fashion, and by the time it was over, everyone was just done. So I mean, as far and there was music written about it. So I mean, by the time we were coming out of it, and everyone was able to get back to the out in public, to restaurants and concerts and bars, and everyone could go back to work, and everyone could drive wherever the hell they wanted, go to the grocery store, get rid of the dumbass masks, whatever, what have you. Everyone was just done, and no one wanted to hear about it or even talk about it anymore. So I definitely don't blame you there. I mean, wanting to just
funny story about that is I'm wearing the Havoc shirt, so I had to bring that up since you're talking about that. As me and Chris actually got to talk with Pete and David after the show, and I actually brought that up to David. I said, "Hey man," I said, "Are you like a futuristic person or something? Did you come back from time and write these songs? Because all the songs that you wrote a year before the pandemic fit with what happened in the pandemic. Like it doesn't really make sense, man. It's like so it's kind of crazy."
On the 5 album, it was actually kind of weird how that worked out, but yeah, it was just all right. We're done with this. Let's try to move on the best we can. So
it's kind of funny, but yeah, so like I know when I because I reviewed the EP, and actually I'll tell you right now, it's going to be really really close, and like I got you guys, and then there's one other EP I listened to earlier in the year that are probably my top picks that are probably going to go neck and neck through the end of the year for my EP of the year. But the Children of the State, I really got a Testament vibe from that. Is that a band that you kind of dip into as far as influence, or?
Yeah, I think Testament is my main influence. So also from the vocals, I mean Chuck Billy is right. He's for me he's a perfect thrash vocalist. Because he can sing aggressive, he can sing melodically. So for me, he's a perfect match for a thrash metal band. And I also think that the Testament evolved massive through the last years. So they get better and better. So it's like for me it's a perfect thrash band.
It was crazy. Like I remember back when like The Ritual came out, and that's still one of my favorite albums. And everybody gave them so much shit for that album. For me. Yeah, and everybody gave so much shit for that album. I'm like, dude, that's a masterpiece. It was a masterpiece. It's like,
I know.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't get that at all. I don't.
It's also for I mean, also Low is quite a good record. We just listened to Dogface Gods last rehearsal, so it just sounds brilliant. And also Demonic had some moments which were really really good. So but I think it started with the Gathering. Then it went like through the roof for me, because this was the masterpiece for me.
And that's what I was telling him when I was doing the review. I said, I really got a Testament vibe from the album, which kind of made me realize after the fact. I said, oh, well, I mean, Children of the Snake, Brotherhood of the Snake, I was like,
yeah, yep. Yeah, you did mention that. You literally said that almost verbatim when you were reviewing the album.
It sounds like you need a good opening act there, Testament.
See, there you go.
Yeah. So, but these are the things when you write songs, you don't think about these albums,
right?
But afterwards, you have recorded them, then you think, all right. Why did I take this title? Because with our similarity to Testament, then everyone gets the connecting point. So it's like, okay, yeah.
But it's almost cool though that you're able to do that. Because I mean, like even if it's like I said, 99% of the time it's not done purposely.
No, it's all coincidental.
Yeah. We've talked about coincidences on this show a lot of times with bands. So it's like, no, it's like, we've asked the band before and they're like, nope, didn't have that in mind at all. So I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, so the coincidences are pretty cool. I think, so.
But I mean, you have a lot of time when you are in the rehearsal space, someone come with a riff, then you say, listen, no, wait, play it again. Wait, no, that's another song. Then you start scrolling YouTube. Okay, listen to this. Shit, scrap that riff. yeah, because you take it, you're playing, then you think, oh, that's cool. But yeah, you have heard it somewhere, and
right.
Yeah,
I think you can get away with that if it's not like a distinct riff that it's not like you're playing Enter Sandman or something that everybody's heard. If you're coming out and accidentally sounds something similar to like Of Wolf and Man, people are just like, I know that, but I don't know where I know it from. You know what I mean? It's like, but they're not going to know. It's like,
yeah, but to a certain extent, I still don't think there's anything wrong with, how am I going to put it? Because obviously, because like when Avenged Sevenfold came out with Hail to the King, everyone was giving them shit about like this means war. Is like they just ripped off it, sad but true. Which I'll admit, I mean it's basically like
pretty close, yeah.
It's pretty close, and I mean, even M Shadows was like, well, I mean they were saying that they were paying an homage, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially if you're not doing it every song on every album. But I mean, if you're throwing a tribute out there, because I mean, I'm kind of like in agreement with you, Mark. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to, especially from Jason and I, you're not going to get too much argument, when you could say that Chuck Billy is almost like could be like the prototypical thrash metal vocalist. I mean, you're not going to get too many arguments from me. I mean,
when you can remember the lyrics.
Yeah, we'll actually tell you that story here in just a second. But because it was so funny. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to get too many arguments from us. I mean, obviously there are so many other great thrash metal vocalists, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Steve Souza, Dave Mustaine. I mean, there's so many. There's so many. And Jason and I are at our core, we're both thrash metal guys too. We've talked about it before. We start at thrash metal and then we kind of converge a little bit, but that's we both have different elements that we bring to the show, it's part of why it works. But I mean, the big four, then you got the German, the Teutonic Four, over there in Germany, those guys, Creator and all those guys. But then Testament, Exodus, Destruction, in the Havoc. So I mean, Heathen, Hatchet, So I mean, Municipal Waste, Nuclear Assault. So I mean, you can just go down the list of the amount of quality metal bands in general, but I mean, just talking about thrash in general, I mean, there's so much inspiration to pull from, but I mean, Testament is like right up there, so I still don't think there's anything wrong with, like I say, having a little bit of the inspiration in your songs. Like I say, you're not Overkill, Death Angel, exactly, Dana. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, like if you're doing it constantly, then okay, all right, then you don't want to run the risk of literally sounding like somebody else. But I mean, when you pay a little bit of a tribute to somebody, whether it's Testament or Slayer or Exodus, and it doesn't matter. What I like, what you guys do, and you guys did on 2 of your albums, I like in general when bands have songs paying general homage to metal. And that's what I like about what you guys did on a couple of your albums. I love that. I don't care if some people think it's like a trope or something like that. I don't care. I like, because on Children of the Snake, you guys had Thrash for Life, and then you've got Thrash Metal Domination. I like it. I like it when a band that I like.
Well, that's 2 agendas we can get behind, right?
Right, exactly. Because Iron Savior has a song called Heavy Metal Never Dies. Sabaton has Metal Machine. So I mean, when Healed by Metal by Gravedigger, we have.
There's a lot of them. So.
There is a lot of them, and I like almost every single one. So those are a couple of like my favorite songs that you guys put out. I can't say I could pick one, because last week I started with the EP after Jason did the review. I started with the EP, and I worked my way back through your guys' entire catalog, aside from the demo, because I couldn't find the demo from 07.
It's not officially released. So.
Yeah, so I mean, I went all the way back through, like I say, started from where we're at now, went all the way back through to 2010, all the way back through Solace Through Lies, and so I listened to the entire disc catalog last week. Now, as luck would have it, this past Sunday, my phone died completely. So I was without a phone from Sunday to yesterday. So I was going to go all the way through everything again. So everything was fresh in my mind, because I wanted to, be able to talk about everything with having, listened to everything just recently. Because like I say, I went through everything, phone died, and like, I couldn't remember this, that, and the other thing, because I didn't have everything right in front of my face. So thankfully today I was able to, on my way to work, I listened to Children of the Snake. On the way home, I listened to Thrash Metal Domination, and then I got back into UZN. So I got back halfway through. So, but after Jason had done the initial review on the show and told me about it, I was like, well, that's definitely some homework for me. Once he told me, Thrash Metal EP, Testament, I was like, I'm in. I was like, you don't have to say anything else to me. I was all the way in. So
I think when I was emailing Mark, which I didn't know it was Mark at the time until he emailed me back, but I was telling him, I was like, man, I was like, 2004 and it's 2023, and I've missed out on all this music from Contorsion, which is a travesty, but better late than never. And
right, exactly.
And believe me, it's like, if I got anything to do with it, a lot more people's going to know about you
guys.
Well,
that's what we do here. That's what we do.
We'll ask you this: do you know the band Onslaught?
I don't think so.
See, so we're not alone. So I was like,
we did. We didn't either.
That's what, like 80,
85.
85.
Okay.
Yeah,
85.
So, and then we were listening to them in their last album in 2020, and I was like, man, this band is so badass. And then we got to looking like, dude, this band's been around since like 85. What the fuck? Like, where have we been? It's like crazy how like you just get so. Well, the biggest thing here in our country is metal is not mainstream. So we don't, if we want to find these bands and stuff, we have to research or we won't ever know.
That's the same here.
Is it really? Okay. So I know like in Germany and stuff like that, it's a little bit more common to hear metal. But
I mean, metal in mainstream in Germany, it's like a Sabaton. It's like Powerwolf. It's just these things.
More power metal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you really go deeper into real metal, let's say, for me, it's like a Sabaton and stuff. It's not. It's like it's like children's metal a little bit, but yeah.
Was it the Anzilu? Is that who we talked to? That were talking about that they were kind of like having a hard time in the beginning because they weren't a black metal band.
Yes.
In like where were they from?
Finland. They're up there in Finland.
Yeah. So
they were having a hard time finding their footing
because they're thrash too.
They're thrash, and they weren't black metal, so people weren't really kind of paying too much attention to them because everybody wanted to hear black metal up there by and large because they're up there in Scandinavia. So.
So it's kind of difficult.
it's also if you go to shows like here in Switzerland or in the radio stuff, you don't hear metal at all. So
Same.
the shows are small. It's like the metal shows normally are small, except the big names. It's like you have like Volbeat, stuff like that. You have like, let's say, 5 to 10,000 people going to the concerts. But like for us, if you are in the underground, it's like from 50 to 200 people. So it's quite small.
Yeah.
Also,
How often are you guys getting out in the area over there?
not so much. Let's say normally we play about 5 to 10 concerts a year.
Okay.
So that's all. But since the pandemic, we have like, we played like 5 shows or 6 shows. Yeah,
Wow.
that's not so much because there are so many shows. The last year there were so many shows already because everything was like pushed back, and then last year it's like everything happened. So you couldn't play somewhere because you wouldn't have some people because they already went to all the shows, and it's like people are tired of shows.
Yeah, that was, I guess.
They don't go out so much, so they stay home. It's like here, it's like crazy.
Yeah, that there was a little bit of, I guess, market saturation. You could call it. That kind of makes sense, especially like you were talking about with the bigger names, because a lot of them had tours that were postponed. A lot of people had albums that were coming out that got pushed back. Because I mean, even Testament, when I'll let Jason tell the story here in a minute that we were referring to, but when we saw them on the Bass Strikes Back tour, we got to see them. We went down to Chattanooga, which is about 2 hours from where we live. And then we saw them again when they announced the second leg. They actually came through Nashville, which is about 45 minutes from where we live. So during those shows, they were telling us, well, here's one of the new ones, and Titans of Creation came out in 2020, but they never got to tour on it after when everything got shut down. So here we are, 2023, and the Bass Strikes Back tour is still going on an album that's at this point 3 years old. But now they were just over in Japan, but they never got a chance to, take the album out. So when you've got bands like that who had to hold on to something and then they go out. So yeah, it kind of trickles down to everybody. And that year that we went to go see those 2 shows, Jason went to even more shows than I did that year, and I went to like 7 or 8. And Jason went to more shows than I did. So I mean, at some point I just ran out of money, not desire. I just ran out of money.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it wasn't for the fact, so I mean, if I would have had more money, I'd have gone to more shows. So I can, kind of imagine, but it trickles down to everybody. So
yeah.
So, I've been at quite a few this year too. So
yeah.
But I mean, it's the same here. You just have like some amount of money that you can spend on concerts, on vinyl, on music in general. So because everything is getting more expensive, it's like health insurance, it's like food and stuff. It went up so much here in Switzerland. I mean, in Germany, it's even more. It's like they even have much more a hard time than we have. But it's like everything, when you calculate, it's like 5 or 10%, everything went up. So and you didn't get more compensation for your work.
No, you didn't.
So it's like
same thing happens here. Trust me.
It's like the amount for music goes down. So
yeah, and you guys I don't know exactly, but I know you guys pay a hell of a lot more for like your gasoline over there in Europe than we do here.
Yeah. It's like for 1 liter you pay. It's like $2.50 or $2.30. Like
Wow.
Yeah, so but you're talking.
We don't have such big cars like you have.
That's true, and you guys have a lot more. Well, in general, you guys have a lot more public transportation too. We don't have buses, and we don't have bus. Of course, we're a much bigger country, but at the same time, we don't have the mass transit that you guys have, trains and buses and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, two and a half per liter, you're talking $10 a gallon. So that's insane.
It's like $9 to $10. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
something
insane.
Like that.
Dana in the chat wants to know if you guys would play in Poland.
Yeah. If you are invited, yes, we would like to, of course. But I mean, let's say we are not touring until now because we don't do this professional. It's like every one of us has to work, so this means everyone has like 4 to 5 weeks holidays per year.
Yeah.
So then you can decide, okay, do we want to go out and play somewhere where no one knows us,
right,
and pay for that? Because we don't get money for when we play somewhere. It's like you get like $100 probably, or you have like 15 people in the audience.
Right.
I don't know. So we wanted to do a tour was like Czechoslovakia, or Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Austria, I think. Back in 2018, we wanted to do a tour, a small tour. First, it was it would have been with Angelus Apatrida from Spain.
Oh, you said the magic words.
Yes, he did. Magic words right there. So.
Oh my
great guys.
God,
we played with them like 2 times, and someone approached us that they do like a small tour with 6 states in these countries, and if you want to join, like for €500, I think, for the shows, but backline would be provided and everything. So we thought, okay, we do that. And then we really wanted to do that. And after some weeks, okay, Angelus Apatrida pulled off. We take now Ultraviolence. And we thought, okay, like Ultraviolence, they were a cool band at that time, but they didn't draw so many audience then. So we said, okay, we go, still we go. But with the promoter was such a dumb badass.
You call him whatever you want. You call him whatever you want.
No, he was. I wrote a song about him on the Thrash Metal Domination EP, like Face First. It's like dedicated to him. No, because he always said, okay, yeah, everything is working out, and okay, send me all the places we're gonna play, and do some like. Put some stuff on Facebook, that advertisement, and I will do that. I will do that. And like 5 weeks prior to the tour, no advertisement was made, nothing. And then we said, okay, we pull off, because it doesn't make sense to go somewhere where first no one knows you. There was no advertisement. You play shows like for no one. Then we pulled off, and it was Ultraviolence and Amken from Greece. They were going on the tour, and I talked to them after the tour, and they said it was a total mess, because it was like 2 shows were cancelled, just 4 shows, and no people, nothing in the end. So it was like the right decision then, because we just would have lost money. But it would be great to play in places like Poland or it would be great.
Yeah,
but it has to be the right environment, and
sure, absolutely,
well organized shows. And
we actually seen Angelus Apatrida last year, right?
I think it was last year. Yeah, last year in Knoxville.
Last year they had their first US tour.
Yep, it was in Knoxville. Yep.
Yeah, and it was Hidden Intent was their opening act, and Hidden Intent's a pretty vocal band. They were giving the promoters hell with when we were talking to them.
Yeah,
and they actually came on the show and gave him more hell a little bit earlier this year. So
we talked to them, and we actually got to talk to Guillermo after the show too. He was nice enough to come hang out with us for a little bit, and I'm still trying to get them on the show. Still trying to get on the show. Because Guillermo said he'd love to come on the show. I'm having a hard time getting a hold of somebody who can kind of put those wheels in motion. But at the show that we went to, because Knoxville is about 3.5, maybe 4 hours from where we live here, depending on traffic. And, we went out there, we went to this little venue, and I can't remember how many people were there, but I mean,
it's like 40, I think, or
maybe 40. And I think that's like including everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's including everybody. So, we were, because I mean, we like Jason said, we were talking to Hidden Intent. They were one of the support acts, and then we got to talk to Guillermo, and the lead singer of Hidden Intent. Well, no, it was Phil, the drummer from Hidden Intent, was telling us everything that they went through, because they had been to the United States before, and they were telling us that okay, well, this time when we came, the promoter was like exactly what you said, had a couple other tours he was more focused on, and he wasn't putting it at the time in, and there was no, there was really no promoting it. And the only reason why we really knew about it is because when Angelus Apatrida released their last self-titled album, that's when Jason and I kind of discovered them, kind of like we did with you guys, picking out albums to review. And we ended up becoming fans of Angelus Apatrida after the self-titled album came out. And then we have a segment here on the show where we pay attention to tours that are coming along. And, after discovering them when the album came out, like, oh, they're coming here, we're going for sure.
Yeah.
So the only reason why we knew about the tour is because we are looking for tours so we can tell everybody else about them. And then, come to find out, from the people in one of the support acts that, this guy isn't helping get people here. Because Jason and I were like, man, there should be a lot more people here. Because like I say, there were maybe 3 or 4 dozen people there, and we were like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
there should be so many more people at this venue. And
they did have some shows where there were more
well, of course they did, but they did.
Felt like it should have been more there.
It definitely should have been. So
they were in Nashville earlier on the tour.
They were,
but I can't remember. I think I may have been out of town.
We were both out of town.
Yeah, that's right.
You were out of town at a festival, and I was back up in Michigan visiting some relatives. So that's why we weren't able to go to the Nashville show, and we ended up driving out to the Knoxville show. So, but I can't even, because I was asking Chris, the lead singer of Hidden Intent, I was asking him, because I told him, so we would have come to the Nashville show because that's where we live, but we were both out of town. So I was asking him about it. He said the crowd was a lot better. And of course, I told him, I said, you'd have a hard time not being a lot better.
I think he even said like one of the stops they had in Texas, the promoter didn't even, he forgot to book their hotels and stuff.
He did say something.
They had to wind up coming out of pocket for their fucking hotel. I'm just like, what the hell, dude?
So
he's like, yeah, if we come back, we're not using that guy. I was like,
and they didn't say exactly, they didn't say his name or anything, but they kind of they deservedly gave him a little bit of hell. And for us here on the show, it's irritating for us because, like we said, Mark, we've had a lot of guests on the show from overseas, from where we are, over, like you say, over there, like Australia, with Hidden Intent, Angelus Apatrida from Spain. We haven't had him as a guest, but we've become huge fans of theirs. You guys in Switzerland, bands from Sweden, bands from all over in Europe. Yeah. And the frustrating thing is for us is, if we weren't doing what we're doing every week, because like this is our third year of doing this, we probably wouldn't know about Angelus Apatrida, Hidden Intent, you guys, because we aren't getting, we're getting the American bands over here. That's all we get.
Yeah.
And even that, we kind of have to know where to look. So for us to be able to learn about bands like you guys, and you guys are coming up on a 20-year career here, and here we are in September of 2023 just learning about you guys. So that's what gets frustrating for us. I mean, we're lifelong metalheads, the both of us. And just finding out about bands that are 2 decades into their career like you guys, or in Onslaught's case, the fourth decade of their career. It's frustrating because obviously we know that we're missing out on some music because we have jobs just like you guys do, and you guys are we're not trying to run a band. We just have a weekly podcast. So you guys are trying to work, make music,
Practice,
take it out on the road, practice, record, merchandise and all that stuff. You guys are trying to do all that on top of having a job. We're working a job and just having the show that we've got going on right here. But to not be able, so we know we're missing out on stuff, but to not have the ability to have the access that we do to bands like you guys, for us, it's frustrating because we can only read so many stories and we can only listen to so much Spotify, and to not be able to have more knowledge that we do have, and we've gotten a lot more knowledge over the years. But when a band like you guys comes along, it's like they've been together 19 years. What the hell? It's kind of a bummer. And then when we hear stories that you just told us about, you guys can't really get out there because people who are supposed to be doing this kind of shit for a living, they're doing it half-ass, and then you guys are directly affected by it.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like if you're a promoter and you're not promoting, then you shouldn't get paid. I mean,
right.
That's the bottom line. I mean, you did not do your job. So I mean, if any one of us don't do our job where we work, what happens? I mean, we're either going to get called into the office or something. You just don't get a slap on the wrist and go about your day. I mean, that's how that works.
I mean, I think there are several points to that. I mean, there are so many good bands out there. I mean, I'm happy that you listen to our EP and you really like it because there are so many other bands which do the same like we do, sometimes with a small label stuff, and which are really good, and no one listens to them really. So I'm glad you heard about us. So that's really great. And it's difficult. I mean, as a small band as we are, I mean, we don't have a record company. We don't have a distributor anymore because it didn't make so much sense with the one we work together. It's like there are so many people working in the industry, and they need bands. They also need smaller bands, but they know that they don't earn so much money with them, so they just use them. Okay, you want to play? Okay, you have to pay like $200, and you can play with this band, and they treat you like shit. It's like, so it doesn't make really fun to go into that system for us. So it's
totally
just
understandable.
It's pay to play. Here in Europe, it's if you want to play bigger shows, you have to pay, or you have merchandise cuts where they want
we've talked about that many times. Yeah,
and that's not the game we want to play. We stay smaller, but we don't care. We don't want to get into that game. So it's great for us that we have like a really good reputation here in Switzerland. We've been around for almost 20 years, and I have some really good contacts in the Swiss metal scene, and that's why we sometimes really have great shows. We can be support, like we could supporting Heaton, for example. It's like or European metal bands, or like a Nuclear Assault, Hyrex, stuff like that. So
nice.
We're a small band, but if it comes to these bands, then a lot of times we can play support for them. But it's not, we never paid for that.
Right.
Never. So that's sometimes we played for free, or just for, let's say, for $100 just for the gas, because it was promotional for us. It was like you can play with a bigger band, and then you get more attraction from the fans.
Right.
So this stuff we do, but we never play really for free, or we pay for play. We don't do that.
Yeah. Well, it probably makes you guys feel a lot better that, like you say, you're not playing the game and you're calling your own shots. So it's like we're doing this because we choose to, not because we're being made to. Because you don't want to, you don't want to feel like you're going to be forced into something, because you don't want to get a sour taste in your mouth. And like you say, you're coming up on 20 years doing this, and you don't want to be like, you know what, screw it, I'm just done with this altogether. And you just end up feeling like you just want to shit can the whole thing and just pack it in. And, you know, when it gets to that point, nobody wants to do it with anything, whether it's I mean, with whatever. When it feels like something you have to do, then nobody wants it to get to that point.
Yeah. So when you are younger, you probably want to you want to get out, you want to get bigger with your band, and it's let's say it's a more important part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
When you are 20, 25, the band is everything to you, and we are, most of us, between 40 and 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we have seen a lot in the metal scene. We have all played in different bands and stuff, and it's like we do it for fun, and it has to be fun for us. And if it's not fun, we don't play the game.
Yeah, and you want it to stay fun.
Yeah, and if it's not fun anymore, then we quit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we had those moments when I can tell you with the new EP, we did the first time we did a vinyl. It's like here, a real nice vinyl, and I thought, okay, we do it in Switzerland. Yeah. It's like I show you. It's a really nice one. It's a really nice one. Here it is. It's
yes. That is amazing.
Now I have to have it.
Well, Jason, Christmas later. Is coming up, so
yeah, we'll talk about that later.
And here you go. Just take my card, make information here.
Get a card reader on the side of your monitor.
And I thought, okay, let's do this vinyl in Switzerland, because of course it's more expensive, but you will have it on time. It will be made perfectly because it's Switzerland.
Right.
We had to do a down payment for, let's say, $3,000 for that.
Oof, nice.
Okay, so we received test pressings, everything going great, and then like end of June, we had a release in September. End of June, I received a box from Postal Service. I thought, okay, what's that? Because it was from the company which did the vinyl. And I opened it, and there was this stampers for the vinyl, some labels and stuff, and a letter. Sorry, we cannot do your order anymore.
Oh my God!
Like,
Why not? What happened?
What the fuck? I tried to phone them. No one answering the phone, like the whole day. Because I was in the region where the company was based. I went by, no one was there.
Oh,
so
no.
Like I called the local government and said, okay, this company is closed because they have no money anymore.
Oh my God! So did they take your $3,000 and run?
No, they not just they didn't run, but they had to close the company because they couldn't pay their invoices, their employees and stuff. They had to shut down.
God.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You guys lost out on your $3,000 completely.
Yeah. Oh my God.
For the moment, yes. For the moment, probably in the future we'll get some pieces of it back. We don't know. So that was a point where I was, why am I doing this? Still doing this. Why? I was like, I just quit now because it was so frustrating. It was like a child dream to do a vinyl, and you have a release date, you have set up a release show, and you will not have a product for the release show. It was like so a bummer. I was like, I will quit.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like for 1 or 2 days. And then I thought, no, no way.
Yeah.
This EP is too good to just let it
It
be.
is, yeah.
And then I contacted an Italian company, which were really great guys. They did this production within 5 weeks. It's like for
Very
a
nice.
vinyl production, normally it takes like at the moment 3 to 6 months.
Whoa.
They did it in 5 weeks for 30% of the price from the other company.
Oh my god!
Oh shit!
That's always a plus too.
That's
man.
nice.
Yeah, so it was like we wanted to do it right and choose a Swiss company, and yeah. So
Well, your heart was definitely in the right place. It's just too bad that man, that sucks
So,
though.
but
Well,
yeah,
you were still able to stay in Europe though, so that's good.
yeah.
That's
So,
good.
but it's this is just a little adventure, things that you experience also as a semi-professional band, and which want you to call it quit.
Yeah.
You always have like stuff like that on your way. So, but I think it's also we have such a great friendship within the band, so that's why we keep on rolling. It's just okay. That was a bummer. Okay, let's move forward, and as long as we have fun together, playing together, we make it. And when that's not the case, then we will call it quit.
So I actually was talking about this earlier with a friend of mine, totally off subject, and I knew this was going to come up at some point. But I used to be a pro wrestler, so I was talking to a buddy of mine that he was a pro wrestler as well, and we were talking earlier, and he
good
was
Lord,
just,
here we go.
he just messaged me out of the blue and was just like, "Man," he said, "I really hate that you never got your shot. You know," he said, "You were really great, and I hate that you never got your shot." And I said, "Hey, man, it is what it is." And I try to look at life this way now because I'm like, okay, so if I got that opportunity and I took it, I would probably be 10 kids in with 3 ex-wives. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so you have to look at like what at the. I mean, I was 25 years old, so I mean, you know, wild as hell. You know, I did have a family, but you get out. I think you get out into the road, and that life can suck you in if you're not, you know, really careful in what you're doing. You know, luckily nowadays, I think it's a lot better to be in those situations because the guys in these bands and in wrestling and in sports or in general just don't go out and party and stuff as hard as they used to. It's you know, a lot of these guys are like, "Hey man, let's go play PlayStation or something." I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's safe.
We were at the bar, 8 beers deep, and 2 girls on each arm at this point. You know? So it's really cool. I think it's really more tame now than what it used to be. So I think it's a really better environment for people to get out and do the promotion things a little bit more. And I wish it was like laid back like that when I was doing it, but unfortunately it wasn't. So I mean, you're talking about the 90s to the 2020s. That's a big difference. So
yeah.
So, but yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Like now, is like you know, you take like Metallica, yeah, they're worth all this money, but look at the sacrifices they've had to make family wise, you know, health wise. I mean, you're going through, you know, rehab 50 times. I mean, is that what you want to do to make that kind of money? I mean, yeah, the money's great, but money comes with, you know, prices to pay if you're not doing things the right way. So, you know, we see that now, like you said. I'm 48, so I'm in that same category you guys are. So it's kind of like we see that, but these guys in their 20s don't. So,
of course.
So it's like, oh yeah, I want to be Metallica. So you want to be 3 divorces in, and you know, 5 kids, and you'll have a lot of money, but you know. You're going to be an alcoholic for 20 years, and
you better know what know what you're asking for.
And it makes me wonder if somebody would have told James and them that in the 80s, like, would they have continued that path, or would they have went a different route? You know, it was like, you know, hey man, you know, 50-year-old you could have come back and say, hey man, don't do that shit. You know, like, would you have still done it? That's the whole thing. But yeah, I think you got to kind of weigh things out. And I think you got the right idea with what you're talking about is you know, you're mature enough to know, like, hey, I'm not going to do what I love and get screwed doing it. And I think that's a big a big plus nowadays. So.
And that's the funny thing is like a lot of the bands we've talked to and had like, you know, Ashes Rain, they're like, we do all this shit ourselves. And we were even talking to Martin Motnick, who's the bass player for Accept a couple weeks ago. You know, he's got his Dream Chaser album that he put out himself. I mean, he was showing us, he's like, yeah, back here, I'm packaging all of them up. He's like doing all of his packaging himself.
Stuff, yeah.
As soon as he got off the air with us, I saw him on his Facebook going, packing up my album. So he got off the air with us and like turned right around to the table behind him, and took a picture of himself.
He was pressing. He was pressing shirts and everything back there. I'm like, wow,
he was doing his own. So, I mean, he was doing his own stuff as soon as he got off the air with us. So, you know, to be able to have the freedom to do that, I bet it's nice to be able to call your own shot.
Yeah.
So speaking of the actual EP and the vinyl and everything, so let's find out like who's responsible for, you know, all your artwork and everything.
We have a guy. He's called Tom Mischler. He's he works just part time as doing this stuff.
Okay.
So he works in a normal advertisement agency. And like 20% of his time, he does like artworks for bands and stuff. And I'm not sure. I think John, our guitar player, knows him. So we started working with him with the United Zombie Nations artwork. That was his first one.
All right.
And then the last EP he did the cover and also this one. So. It was.
So he's got an album and 2 EPs under his belt for you guys. Okay.
Yeah. So I just contacted him and asked him if he has time to do something, and he was like, "Oh, he had a hard time with his health and stuff like that." And he said, "Okay, I will do it, but it will take some time. And do you have any ideas?" And I sent him the lyrics from the title song and explained him what is it about, and then he said, "Okay, give me a few days, and I will do some brainstorming." And then he came with this really great idea to do an artwork in the style of the horror movie. It's a advertisement for the movies. Let's do something in this direction, and I thought it was a perfect fit for the title song, because it's about nightmares, it's just fictional, so it's the perfect picture for the lyrics. So you nailed it.
I would say so, and it didn't even dawn on me until you just talking about like the old 1950s movie posters, and like it. Mm-hmm. It is a dead ring. It is a dead ringer for that. Now that you said something about it, it makes total sense. Yeah.
So and also for the video, then it was also so great to work with Omar from Mexico. He did the video for Children of the Snake, and he really adapted the cover into the video. So it was I mean that's a great thing today, that you can work with people all over the world and they do stuff for you, which in Switzerland I wouldn't know someone who would do it like this. So it's so great to work with people all over the world. It's really great.
Yeah. And then there, for everybody who hasn't seen it yet, there is the album cover for the new EP. So you kind of get a taste of what you're talking about there, Mark, with the throwbacks to the 1950s, 60s kind of horror movie poster there, motif going on. So very, very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I like the colors in it too. It's not it's not too bright, you know what I'm saying? It's not like but it's just enough to distinguish what's going on with the blue and black background. It's really cool. I like and I like that. I like it when bands do stuff out of I say the ordinary, because if you look at some of that, I mean, I've seen a lot of album covers this year that are more of zombies and dead bones and skulls everywhere, and this guy's killing somebody over top of it or something.
Yeah, had that.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, it's more like everybody's doing it now, and it's kind of like, wow, that's like this is, to get a wow factor out of anything now, you almost have to do something kind of retro, but that people may not have seen in the last 20, 30 years, but it's not really new. You know what I mean? It's like, because people's like, oh, well, I've never seen that before, because a lot of, like I said, when we go to shows, a lot of times I'll look at the crowds, mainly because I want to see how many younger generations are there, because I want to make sure that, okay, so if I go to, say if I go to a Contorsion show and I look around, I'm like, hey, there's not a lot of young people here. We're gonna have to fix that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's like my main thing is like, I want to make sure that there's a following after we're gone. You know what I mean? It's like, because I mean we're trying to do our part. We're not huge either. We're not Lou Brutus or none of that stuff, and we don't want to do those type things either. I mean, we kind of created this for bands like you guys, because we were coming across so many bands that we haven't heard of.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, man, if we haven't heard of them, how many other people haven't heard of them?
Right.
So I was doing the research on the podcasting, and I was already doing a podcast with somebody else on a different topic. And I asked them, I said, hey, what do you think about this? And they're like, dang, that's a great idea. Why don't y'all roll with it? So then I got with Chris and we worked out all the details, and we started this thing up in January of 21. So, we kind of just kept, building from there. And, we didn't do interviews like this at first because we wanted to make sure we got kind of a little bit of a fan base going and followers and stuff going on all of our platforms before we brought in, guests. Because if I just bring you in and I don't have anybody follow me, then I'm not giving you anything,
right?
So you're right back where you started. So
and you're getting up at 5 a.m. for no reason.
I mean, it's a great chat we have, so that's worth it already. So
well, I mean, that's like we're not. I mean, we want to talk about things band wise, but we don't come out and it's like, this is another reason we do this thing, is because we know the stories with Metallica and Megadeth and all those bands. Like, what can you ask them that people don't already know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like with these bands that are up and coming, you don't know anything about them, so you can ask whatever you want and get all the information and sometimes some side chats take off, and you learn a little bit more personable stuff about the people, and that's cool too.
It is, yeah. It's literally I mean, for us and for everybody else, it's literally a get to know you, because up until 2 weeks ago when Jason reviewed the EP, like Jason said, sad to say we didn't know about you guys. So 2 weeks later we do, and we're fans, and so now that we're fans, we're definitely gonna be following you guys, and we're going to be keeping up with everything Contorsion.
I went from not knowing you guys to 14 liked songs on Spotify.
That's a good ramp up.
That's a big difference in 2 weeks, but I was like, I just kept going back, and I said, dude, all of this shit is so fucking awesome. Like,
it's all amazing. Yeah. Even like I say, even from 2010 to now, 13 years worth of LPs and EPs, so I mean, everything's been really, really great. And I kind of think it's kind of cool the way I did it. Cause like I say, I did it, like I say, from newest to oldest. So I kind of like worked my way back, and even going from the newest to oldest, going backwards, I still noticed a maturation of the band.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it was kind of cool to see the evolution of your band in reverse, like starting at the end and going back to the beginning, and still being able to hear how
Benjamin Button.
Exactly, I did, yeah. So it was still cool to hear the evolution of the band just going in reverse, and hearing how the sound kind of grew and changed from 2010 to 2023.
Dana put on here that Metal and Tats doesn't have a band from your country on their stuff. Metal and Tats is a big thing over here. They put together shows, and there's a lot of bands in their little Facebook group and stuff there too. So a lot of bands get together and do things outside of the group, and it's pretty cool little concept they got over there. And like I love Dana. Dana's been good to us, and we've kind of helped each other grow. So it's a pretty good partnership there. So definitely check those guys out and see.
Yeah,
see if there's.
We'll send you the link to
that would be great.
to Dana's Facebook. We'll send it to you on the email thread after the show. So we'll
thank you.
We'll introduce you. So
yeah. Well, so Dana good people, and their group's pretty. They're a lot bit. Been around a lot longer than us, but. And they're working on, I don't know, 3 or 5K in their little group. So, and like I said, most of it is bands. Okay. I mean, there is some fans in there, but most of it's a lot of bands. So,
it really is.
It's kind of like what we do, but it's just a network type thing.
Yeah.
For bands. So.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So, and another thing, like with me, especially with talking to bands like you guys that are overseas, and I'm just like, the first thing I want to know is like, when we got to get you guys in the States. And I know that's like that's probably a long shot with the way things are going with the travel and stuff over there to here. But that would be something cool to have you guys at some point over here in the States. And if it's anywhere, definitely try to be there. I have drove to Atlanta, so that's like
me too.
About a 5-hour drive to see.
Yeah, 4.5, 5 hour. Yeah.
So I don't have a problem driving a little bit to
nor do I.
Hang out and talk to bands sometimes. It's pretty cool. And so we don't do this, we're not making any money at this either. So we're doing 9 to 5. So we don't have sponsors or nothing yet. We're always open to that Colgate or anybody else out there. So, we use the guy with the metal toothbrushes. Where he's like got it all over his face by the end of it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we was talking about you guys are coming up on 20 years. Are there any like big special 20-year anniversary type things you guys are working on possibly for next year?
We're not working on it really right now, but we talked about it to do something for next year. I'm not sure how we want to do it. If you want to do it with a bigger band, together with a bigger, like hire a bigger band as attraction also, or if you just want to do with some friends, from bands friends. I don't know yet, but we surely have to do something.
Oh yeah, that's a big milestone. So
you absolutely
should. So it's, I can't believe it. That it is already 20 years. So,
man, it flies by.
It's absolutely unbelievable. It's like, you just do you write new songs, you record new songs, and you play, and then 20 years. It's like okay.
Havoc's kind of in the same boat. I think they started in 04 so
04, 05, somewhere around there. Yeah, they're pushing up on it too.
Yeah, so it's crazy when I see that, and I'm just like, what? Wait, are they really?
Yeah, they are.
It's like, wow. Then I see like we were just talking about. I seen a post where I think it was like the "Here I Go Again" video or something from Whitesnake was so many like 40 something years. I'm like, what?
I know. That's bonkers.
Like 83 or something.
Yeah, I saw.
It'll make me feel older what I already do. Like,
well, here's something messed up for you.
Have a good one, Dana. Dana's taking off on us. So.
Dana, man, have a good one, buddy. Dana. I'm gonna send you Mark's info after the show, so we're gonna get you guys hooked up. But here's something that'll blow your mind. I saw something earlier this week when I was able to follow news, like I say, with my damn phone dying. Uli John Roth said he would be willing to play with the Scorpions again to celebrate their 60th anniversary. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
My God.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's
60 years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, also Judas Priest, like 50 years.
Priest has got 50. Maiden's got 50. It's like,
it's unbelievable.
It's insane to me, man. It's just nuts. But it's awesome at the same time.
Yeah,
it's great at the same time.
That's a long career. So I mean,
and they still pull out good music.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Still,
Hell.
so or again, it's like you can call it how
Right.
you want.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like
hell, Metallica! I mean, Metallica and Motley Crue are at 40 years at this point. For
Mhm.
Christ's sake, which is nuts. So
also
which
Exodus for
Exodus,
Yeah,
It's like
Exodus. Yeah, I mean, it's just which is great on one hand and not so great at the other because I mean, you know, they've been around 40 years. All three of us have been around 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
40 plus.
yeah, we've been around 40 or more years. So it's like there's a lot of decades going on. So so all
Change
right,
the subject already, man. Like,
I know. Yeah, I know. So so who was back to the album albums basically. Where did the actual font that you guys came up with? Where did that come from? Was that one of yours?
sorry,
The actual font that you use, you know, the actual
the logo.
Contortion name.
the logo, yeah.
Yeah, the logo.
It's like, I mean, the name was created by me because I was looking for a band name, and I mean, there's everything already out there as band names.
Yeah.
And I thought so, like a contorted vision, like a that was I wanted I just matched these two words, and okay, contortion sounds quite cool. And then our guitarist then Luca, he created the logo. So
Okay.
he drew it, and I thought, okay, this looks quite nice, and yeah, we kept it. And of course, we did some little design changes during the years,
Yeah.
smaller changes, but yeah, it's almost the same logo as 20 years ago or 18 years ago, something like that.
Well, I mean the design of it definitely. I mean, it absolutely matches the definition of what the band name actually is.
Mm.
So I mean, it's all twisted and
True.
Yeah.
mixed in together. But at the same time, it all as you're reading it, of course, it's just one word, of course, but it still flows from left to right like you want it to. So, so I mean, you can't really argue with the way it came out. So.
It does its job, so
It does do
that's
its
good.
job. I kind of look how I kind of looks like looks like roots. It looks like it's kind of like melting. It looks like it's dripping. So I mean, there's all sorts of different kind of little, depending on how you look at it. So
I like how the backwards R is kind of through in there too. That's really cool. And it wraps.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's cool because how it wraps around the O before it. I think.
Yep.
So it kind of gets me.
Well, and then the I kind of does the same thing with the second O too. So
right,
it's very cool how it all goes together.
Which you know, thanks
almost
to
black metal.
Yeah, right.
Almost.
which you know, thanks to Korn now we can actually type out your name like it's right there. So
that is true. You actually can text that backwards R now. You can.
Pretty awesome.
It's funny because when we were kids, we're like, yeah, in 2023 we'll have flying cars. Nope, we got backwards R. That's what we got. That's what we got.
roll off your tongue. So I know you guys. So you guys have did some touring before, though, right? Before the pandemic.
Sorry, sometimes.
No, you're fine. As I was saying, like before the pandemic, you guys did do a little bit of touring here and there.
Yeah, but mostly in Switzerland.
Yeah,
it's like I said, it's like 5 to 10 shows per year, and I mean Switzerland is quite small. You cannot. Right. You have to be careful that you don't overplay the country because it doesn't make sense. I mean, if I want to go to a show, it doesn't matter if it is in Geneva, in Zurich, somewhere. It's always like up to 2 hours drive, just up to 2 hours drive. So I mean, if you play in Zurich and then next day in Lucerne and next day in like Geneva, it doesn't make sense. So you have to
too close together.
Yeah, I mean, you play like January there, probably April there, and then you have also people coming to the shows. But if you cannot like tour in Switzerland within 1 week, do 5 shows, it's not
makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you almost have to go out a little bit of the country a little bit to to get a full tour in. So
Yeah. So we played in Germany 1 or 2 times, but yeah, we could have done it more. I think we didn't really go for that in the past, because when you do these things just on your own, you play like for 20 people, stuff like that. It's nothing wrong playing for 20 people. Don't get me wrong, but
I've been
it's
there.
so much. You put so much energy in it, and you waste like days for it, for traveling stuff, and that costs a lot of money. And at the end, you play in front of 20 people, sell like 2 CDs, 2 shirts. Of course, it's fun, but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we're like almost 50, and sometimes it's really fun, but you cannot do that several times a year and go out like doing a weekend or like 2 shows in Germany, in northern Germany, driving like 15 hours or 10 hours, playing a show, then or 2 shows, come back and go to work on Monday again.
Oh
It's like,
yeah,
Yeah, that would be a
yeah,
little rough.
that's not
yeah,
possible in our age anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hell, I wouldn't have wanted to do that when I was in my 20s. Back that, God, I mean, I wouldn't have even wanted
yeah,
to do that back then.
yeah.
I just did a 12.5 hour drive on Thursday night, so I can
Oh,
or Thursday, but
Yeah.
I can relate.
Mhm.
So
Well, speaking of the merchandising aspect of it, how do people find it?
we have like a website. It's like contorsion.ch for Switzerland. And there we just have like a landing page where you can go to Facebook, Instagram, and stuff. And there is also a button for a web store where you can get all CDs, all like patches, like shirts and stuff. It's not everything with photos in it already, because I'm building up this store at the moment. This is a new store now, and yeah, we have caps, we have tons of stuff. It's like, yeah. So if anyone is interested, we also try to ship it out with mostly not so much costs, because we know it's like the shipping costs, let's say to America, are it's the same price like the
yeah,
product.
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like I know that's one of the things that kind of got me off from getting one of the albums that Chris just bought me for my birthday was because the shipping. It was a band
Yeah.
in Germany called Hexed, and they had this cool ass album last year called Pagans Rising, and I thought, oh man, that's so cool. And like the whole concept of the album and the inserts and all that, I was like, man, I want that because it's cool, and I love that detail that they put into it for the songs and everything too. And then I was going on to order it, and I was like, damn, hell, the album's 18 and the shipping's 15. It's like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I totally understand.
So it's good. But this here is the kind of website here. Just got you guys' picture. It's got all your
Yeah.
followers there and albums there. So it's pretty cool. So it's kind of like that LinkedIn that we use here, I guess. So
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
pretty cool. So, but so they can order. Can they order stuff like that from like your how much I say your socials and stuff? Can they order for? Is there links in your socials they can order the albums and stuff or?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, gotcha.
No,
So,
no,
so it's coming.
It's like yeah, I hope so, because it's like the social media. It takes so much time. It's
It does.
unbelievable. We started Instagram like 2 months ago. It's like my girlfriend. She said, "Okay, you have to go on Instagram now." And I say, "Oh, come on!" And she set it up, everything, and you have to post now. And oh, come on! I already post on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have to create some content and stuff. I mean, yeah, it's cool the reactions you get, but it's such a time
It really is.
eater. It's like
Yeah. my daughter, like, I can't remember when exactly it was we started it, but my daughter was like, you need to get on TikTok. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh God, TikTok, are you serious? She's like, yeah, you gotta, you gotta do an Instagram, you gotta do TikTok, which
Yeah.
I still don't have a personal Instagram or TikTok, but we have one of each for the show. And I'm just like, because I mean, I've got my own Facebook. We've got a Facebook for the show.
Yeah.
So we've got all this other personal stuff. Then you add in the stuff for the show, and it's just like, oh my Lord. But yeah, I fought the TikTok thing kicking and screaming for the longest time. And then, my daughter's like, you need to start one and put some videos out. So, in addition to the show that we do every Friday, I do like a little kind of like minute and a half recap on Wednesdays of, just
Okay.
little bits and pieces of here's what you missed and here's what, so
Yeah.
stuff like it. But still, it's like, I got to sit down, I got to record it. I got to,
Yeah.
edit it. I got to put the, the captions and the background music and make sure it posts. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was just like, so it's like, yeah, it's fun and kind of tiring at the same time. So I mean, I know you can relate, but doing all that.
I mean, it's important, but
It
it
is.
needs a lot of time.
Yeah, it is. So, but
and plus we have YouTube channels and
yeah,
Rumble channels and
YouTube too,
Spotify,
Twitch,
Twitch, and,
yeah.
We got to keep up with all this crap. Like what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then I created a merch store, so I had to buy a domain and everything to do that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy. So I did see where you guys had the Children of the Snake video, so on YouTube. Was that is that something that was trying to see, pull it up.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, go ahead and pull it up. Yeah, you said the gentleman who helped you guys make the video, his name was Omar, and he was in Mexico, correct?
Yeah, it's the company is called Never Asked Films, and he does like short horror movies. And we approached him. It was over the Fiverr platform, where you can.
Oh, okay, I've heard of that. I've heard of it.
We're people for advertisement, for creating like covers, creating videos and stuff. And then I saw some stuff he did, and I thought, okay, it would be a great match for our concept we have for the EP.
Yeah,
like there's a little clip from it there. So
like a film noir, like
yeah.
Bit. So and he was really fascinated of doing this video. He really loved it, and he does so much things on Instagram for us. He always mentions us, and he's really became a fan of us.
That's very cool.
Collaboration.
I mean, that definitely helps when you got someone who likes the content and then can put something out like that. And then of course, now you have like a contact, you got a friend, you got a fan, you got all that stuff. So I mean, it ends up working out, multiple ways. I do like the black and white. That is very cool.
That's very good.
Yeah,
cool.
It's something different. It's not so really typical for a thrash band. It's like something else or some.
I do. I like that a lot.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll actually try to share that to our group too as well. So I didn't. I was just now thinking about. I don't know why didn't think to look it up before. I was like, man, should see if they got any videos. I was like, that's pretty cool. Is that the only video you guys have out there?
No, we have some others. It's like for United Zombie Nations. We have done a video. We have done for Liar. It's just a lyrical video, and I think we'll do another one for Trash for Life with some live footage from the release show.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, we will do that in the next few months. I think we will put it out.
So I actually did a cool thing. I don't know if you've heard of the band Godslave, but they actually put together a video and they told everybody. They had like this little contest thing, and you sent in a little picture with them cheering them, with a beer or something, and they put everybody's picture in the video. It was It was so freaking awesome, dude. I was like, that is so cool. But yeah, I was like watching it, and I was like, oh, there I am. Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool concept because he was like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna let the fans be in this video. Like they were in like the beginning of it, and then it kind of like went off in a Straight Fire Zone, I think was the song, and they kind of went off and then showed everybody just cheering, giving cheers with their beers and whatever they had in their hands. So it was pretty cool. It's like a fan based video. Which,
that's great. Great idea.
Odd to see that, but it was pretty cool. So anyway, we don't want to like carry on too far over into this thing, but is there any other platforms or anything you guys are on, like Bandcamp or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. On Bandcamp you can also let's say listen to our music, download it for a small amount, and you can also order the vinyl. I have to put up the CDs too there, and it's a good thing. Bandcamp.
Oh, Bandcamp is very cool.
Great.
Yeah, you get some money, and
that's always
compare
good.
with Spotify is great to listen to or search for music, get to know new music, but the payment is ridiculous.
It's
but you need it. I mean, without Spotify, we couldn't spread our music.
It's one of those necessary evils for sure. We've talked about it on the show before, and we like Spotify. We've got we both have accounts. We put our weekly playlists on Spotify. I enjoy Spotify, but I think what they do to you guys monetarily is borderline criminal. It's ridiculous. It really is.
The amount of listeners went up from, it's like beginning of September it was about 130. It went up to more than 3,000 now.
Yeah, it's currently 3,456. At the moment.
That's because we are in some playlists, featured in some playlists.
But still, hey.
At least 3 of ours already. So
it's like there were like 6,000 streams within 1 month, and then you calculate how much get you out of that. It's like $3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like come on, man.
Yeah. I think one of the like bands I've seen a while back. They're not like huge, but they're kind of like one of those mid-grade bands that have been around for a little bit, but they're not like. I mean, they could headline a tour, but I don't know. Like, they couldn't go to like a stadium and do it. You know what I mean? They could probably go to a club and do it, but whatever. But anyway, I thought it was funny because he's just like, "Hey, we got. You want to know what? I don't remember what he said. Like, 10,000 or 50,000 or so, maybe it was even 100,000. I don't remember. He's like, you don't know what how many of those listens looks like in dollars from Spotify? And he had $25 in his hand. I was like, oh my god, that is sad, dude.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. It really
need millions of streams that you get something out of it.
Yeah, they really need to do better than that. I mean, honestly,
they do. Yeah.
But I mean, because it's not hurting them if they're like, oh, well, all these bands are on here, and you could put it on a loop for 24 hours, and I'm like, well, I will start doing that to a lot of bands just so you could have to pay them. But
I mean, it's Contortion on repeat. It's the understanding of today's society that music is cost nothing. So that's the understanding of the younger people mostly. Fortunately, not in metal. Most metalheads still buy albums.
Yeah,
sometimes at least. Yeah. But it's the rest of the world. They think music is for free. That's the evolution over the last 20 years. It's like starting with Napster and stuff. And
Yep.
I mean, we work beside the music, so for us it's no problem when we don't earn any money.
And honestly, like every band that we do is have interviewed got a job. I mean, it's even Martin Motnick of Accept is a big band like Accept. He still goes downtown Nashville and plays bars. I mean, so it's kind of like
he does.
So, I mean, he still does that too. So it's not like these guys are just sitting around on their hands because they got so much money. I mean, they're still out there trying to push and make music. So I think it's one of those things where you just love what you do as far as creating and playing, and then you just want to do it. And it's kind of like, if we make $150, great. If we make $1,000, even better. If we don't make but $5, then it's just a bad night, But we had fun. We had fun playing, and that's right. Especially in the smaller clubs, I think it's better too because you can get personable and meet people and stuff like that. And where it's you don't want 1,000 fans all up on you, but if you're in the smaller clubs, you can definitely talk to 100 or 150 people pretty easily. Yeah. So that's cool. So right now you guys don't have anything scheduled as far as any shows or anything?
Yeah, we have a show in March for sure.
Okay, cool.
It's, in a club where we play regularly with a cool Slayer tribute band from Switzerland.
Nice.
Together.
Nice.
So that's a nice fit. We played with them like 2 or 3 times, and it's a really nice fit. We play first, and then afterwards you have some Slayer covers.
That's
perfect.
Slayer.
Yeah, but we will set up more shows for sure in the next month. So it's like we have to really get to the bookers and see what's possible, because there are still so many shows already set up. So it's like better play just 3-4 shows, but good shows instead of playing every hole. It doesn't make sense in Switzerland anymore for us.
If you guys we talked about it a little while ago, but if you guys do end up having something that you do for the 20th anniversary next year, I know it's kind of looking a little bit ahead. Try and see about doing something, some sort of live stream event, and then we'll try to do what we can to we'll watch it, but we'll definitely watch it. But we would also do what we could to promote it over here. We'll try to see if we can talk to Dana about doing the same thing. So, just kind of food for thought if you guys do end up doing something for that 20th anniversary. So,
yeah, could be a good idea, because I mean we're still quite small band, but we have a lot of followers like on Facebook, which are from overseas. It's like the United States are the second biggest market for us. It's I don't know why, but it's like
because thrash is probably one of the bigger genres over here.
So. Yeah, it really is.
No, it's like Switzerland is like we have the most listeners, but USA is the second place. So it would be probably a chance to present us a little bit more to these guys which are already following us but never had the chance to see us on the show.
Absolutely.
So would probably be, or it could also be that we will post some videos from the release show, I think, because we filmed everything. So it could be that we will post some videos on our YouTube channel too, so that they can get a feeling of a live show from us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let us know if that's something you guys end up doing. We'll share those.
Oh yeah,
that's great to hear.
Absolutely share them.
Yeah,
we actually love doing that. We really do.
And actually, once this is all over with and everything, and I'll wind up uploading this to Spotify too after the fact. So
that's great.
So it'll be there.
You can share it too. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the interviews go up on Spotify. Yep.
Oh, that's great, because it was a real cool opportunity for us to present us in a new medium, because we were never like in a podcast or something.
Oh, cool.
So that's really great, and a beautiful experience for me to get to know 2 cool guys from the States.
Well, I mean, and you were worried about your English at the beginning of the whole thing, and you haven't missed a beat.
Yeah, doing great.
Not one. Hey,
you was talking about that, your fan base and stuff, which is funny because most of our fan base are from over there. So,
I think most of it, yeah.
Yeah, most of
Okay.
it's from Sweden, Switzerland, Finland,
Okay, but that's
all that
great.
area. So
Yeah.
it's kind of odd that we're from the States and we don't get much love here either. So,
I mean, we do. I mean, we do have followers here, but yeah, it's not like nobody watches us here. But I mean, yeah, most of our followers and viewers are from overseas in Europe. So
Okay.
yeah, it is a little ironic how that works out, but yeah, it is. But
so then you should come over to Europe.
Oh man, I
would love to. Dude.
I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. I absolutely would do it in a heartbeat.
My heritage is actually Irish, so that's one of like my dream trips is to head over to Ireland and try to see some family history from over there. So
okay. I'm going to Scotland in 2 weeks, so
that would be
it's
awesome
the first
too.
time for me. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
I was trying to get my family to buy a damn castle over there like 10 years ago because it was 1.2 million and it had like 14 bedrooms. I said, man, you get like 10 families over there. That's $100K a piece, man. That's a house over here. We can do it. You know,
It would have been possible. Hey, any real estate anywhere, if you can swing it, is good to buy. So
well, Scotland's like really, really smart with what they do with their land in this because if you look and you always see that buy this plot of land from Scotland on Facebook and stuff like that. Well, people do that and they want to do that because it's harder for companies to develop on it. Yep. Because a company's not going to go and say, who owns this land? Oh, well, there's a list of 500 people that own that. And they're like, oh, fuck that. I'm not doing that. They're just going to walk away. They're not going to try to track down 500 people to try to buy a plot of land. So it's really smart that they do that because they don't have to worry about getting a lot of land developed over there. So we need to do that over here.
We really do. We really, God, it's like every blade of grass they want to build something on it. It's ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same here.
Yeah. And then Randy Blythe and Gojira, they both bought some rainforest over there, so they can't keep tearing that down. So that's pretty cool. So you got a lot of bands that are doing good things too with that stuff, that type of stuff.
So Jason, we told Mark we would do this. Tell Mark the Chuck Billy story.
I forgot about that. So the second leg of the Bass Strikes Back tour, we were there in Nashville, and was it Into the Pit?
It was Into the Pit.
Yeah, they were going into the pit, and Chuck missed his spot to start singing, and they were like giving him shit about it on stage. He said, "I know where I'm at. Where are you at?" Like
he did.
So it was kind of funny. That it was like,
everybody in the venue, like no one started like booing or anything. Like everyone started laughing their ass off. It was fantastic. Oh, it was so good.
I mean that's great stuff.
Yeah.
If you are on a live show, you see it's live. It's and they are not perfect. They're like they're like you and me. So it's a great moment when stuff like this happens.
That's what was so great about it. It's like he is Chuck is probably sang Into the Pit. God knows how many times in the past, over the years, and just just got caught up in it or whatever, and just like. Oh shit! That was me.
That's human. It's human.
His air guitar was a little off, I think. So.
Yeah, it was. He does play air guitar quite a bit, but yeah,
him and Steve both was doing that a lot during that.
Yeah, but yeah, so that was a quick little Chuck Billy story that I and every time we tell it, I can still picture him up there because because where I was standing, Alex was right in front of me because I was right up against the bear. So Alex is right here and he's looking over, and then Steve is standing right next to Alex and he's looking over. Eric at the other end of the stage and he's looking over, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" so everybody stopped and they were laughing at him, and everyone in the crowd was laughing, and he was just like
playing it off. He played it off so well.
He did play it off real well, and then obviously they started the song back up, and it just kind of went on, but. Yeah, just one
Great
of those
moment.
things. It is one of those things, just a little bit of a quick goof up, and everyone had a good laugh, and then
Yeah,
it's like,
and
hey, shit
something you
happens, and
remember for the whole life.
yeah, because we keep telling the story. It's probably something I'll never forget. So I mean,
Yeah.
Speaking of that, so is there any stories that you kind of stuck with you over the years, or anything wild happened at any of the shows that you kind of remember? Or...
Yeah, there's always something that happens. It's not so spectacular, but it's also like when you meet when you can support bigger bands and you meet those people and they are really kind. That's one of my favorite things. Like Danny Lilker from Nuclear Assault. He's such a fine, great guy. So if you meet people like this and they are just real and not they treat you very good. So that's always a highlight for me. It's
very
always
nice.
great. It's like or like one story I have.
I
It's
was
like
gonna say something just popped into his head.
yeah, it's Caton from Hyrex. It's like he took off his socks and put them on the wall. It was like to dry them after the show.
Oh man, okay.
And then we came into the backstage. It was like, wow, what's the smell? It's like he was like, what's up? These are my socks drying. I was like,
Oh,
come on. It's like a small backstage and he just put up his sweaty, wet socks on the wall.
Oh God!
It was like, yeah, he's quite a special guy. But he's a nice guy, but quite special. It's quite special, yeah.
It makes you kind of wonder why some of those guys go barefoot now. So maybe they have a sweaty foot problem, so they just go barefoot
That's
to
true.
the stage just to keep from having the sweaty foot problem.
Well,
that would be pretty wild just to walk back.
Simple yet effective.
Yeah. So it's always great when you can meet some idols or some people that you admire, which that did so much for the thrash metal scene, and if they are then really kind.
Yeah, it makes a big difference if they're cool, laid back, and not being.
I don't think that I didn't have so many encounters which were bad with people like this. It was mostly they were really friendly, really supportive, and that's great in the thrash metal scene. It's a little bit like a family, even if you are on a higher level. So they are still very friendly.
And we've heard a lot of stories like that about bands who they'll go out on tour with some of these really well established acts and be like, man, they treated us with so much respect. They didn't act like they were better than us. They were just really down to earth, and they were cool to hang out with and talk to and all that stuff. And we always obviously we always like to hear that, because I mean as metalheads, as fans, and you guys as musicians, people on the outside looking in, they always want to, they have these preconceived notions of what kind of people we are and how we act and everything else. But I mean, we get to kind of meet some of, like say we met Guillermo at the Angels Apatrida show. We met, the guys from Havoc, and everyone's been so cool. No one's acted like they were inconvenienced by us coming and wanting to shake hands and say hi or anything like that. Everyone's been like, "Oh man, we're glad you enjoyed the show," and all this other stuff. We really appreciate you coming out. Everyone's super appreciative and genuine and down to earth. And so I mean, it's
I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know who the band Non-Point is over there.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
But Non-Point. Yeah, so Non-Point's like one of my favorites, and like I've met those guys like so many times. It's like I can almost go to a show and be like, "Hey, what's up?" They know, they don't know my name. They know me. It's like it's like so it was like, "Hey, what are you doing way down here?"
I mean, there are also people which are a little bit more reserved or don't talk so much. It's like Warrell Dane, for example, from Sanctuary and Nevermore. He was really quiet and a little bit absorbed, but I think he was not in a good shape too. So it's like
Yeah, unfortunately, we lost Werrell way too early.
Yeah. So
that sucked.
We played with them like I think half a year or 1 year before he died. So it was really in a
that's
bad
a great
shape.
memory to have right there.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, but he couldn't barely sing. It was a little bit hard to watch because he was not in good shape. But he was nice, but he wanted to be alone. So yeah, you have to respect that. And
I think that's kind of like how we feel with Ozzy right now. It's just like, man, we love you, but we don't want you to be out here. I know you want to do these things, but we don't want you to go out here and be shitty. It's like we want to remember Ozzy for what Ozzy was, and and not be like, just because you want one more hoorah, and then be just be crappy shows. Nobody wants that. That's especially for somebody as well known as Ozzy. So.
Well, and that's and the funny thing about it is no one wants that for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Of course, you got some people who are going to be selfish about it, but I mean, you just want to like wheel him out there and be like, okay, sing Crazy Train for us, sing Crazy Train for us, So that's the thing is like most people don't want that for him. Like me, I don't like. I've seen him and I'd like to see him again, but for Ozzy, I would like Ozzy to be healthy and just be able to, because I mean, he's got grandkids now and stuff like that. So I mean, you don't want him to be able to at least hang out with his grandkids.
But if you do see him, you want it to be quality too.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So you want him to be able to come back so he can perform at the level that he wants to perform at. You want it, you want it for him. That's what you want it for. Well, at least that's what I want it for. If he's going to come back, I want it to be Ozzy Osbourne. That's what I want, and I want it for him. I know it sounds selfish, but
well, no, I mean that's just going back to what he said. It's sad to watch somebody that you've looked up to, and then they're suffering and they're still trying to do the best they can for their fans, and it's not. I would actually probably make me cry watching something like that. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm a big guy, so
Well, and I think Mickey D. And I think Mickey D even said that Lemmy did the same thing. He was performing right up until he died too.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have been, but he was.
Well, he definitely probably shouldn't have been, but but again,
it was the only thing he knew.
It really was.
He did his whole life. So
and he lived that life, dude. If there's anybody that ever lived the rock life, Lemmy Kilmister did it. So
he lived it for 10 people or 20
people. Probably. Yeah, you're probably right. He probably did. He lived the life. But you talk about Nevermore, and hell, Jeff Loomis is a hell of a guitar player too.
Yeah,
he's with Arch Enemy now. So, but man, he's phenomenal also.
Yeah,
so.
It's what was one of my favorite bands ever. It's like Nevermore. It's like they are not so trash, but they have elements of it, and of course the voice. You like it or you don't like it. I think there's nothing in between.
Yeah. Oh, I love Werrell's voice. It's phenomenal.
And also his lyrics were quite good. So.
Yeah. I always thought for as good as Nevermore was, I always thought Nevermore was super duper underrated.
Yeah.
They didn't.
There are so many bands, which it's like for me, it's Evergrey is one.
Oh, I love Evergrey. Yeah.
It's absolutely phenomenal band, also live. But I mean, I saw them in Lucerne last year. They had between 150 and 200 people attending. That's nothing, in my opinion, for a band which has a history of 25 years almost, and pulls out quality albums almost every 2 years. And it's stuff that's melodic. It's not so heavy. It is heavy, but you can listen to it also if you're not a real metalhead. It's not too heavy.
Right.
So I don't understand why they don't get the attention they deserve. I really don't get it.
I'm right there with you on Evergrey too. Yeah. Right there with you on that one.
Yeah, that's back into Chris's wheelhouse there. So
the power metal. Yeah.
So he's the power metal guy of the group. So
yeah.
Okay.
And I I lean more like once we get out of thrash, he's more the power metal guy, and I lean more toward the metalcore type stuff.
Yeah.
So it's but like I said, it kind of fits well because by the time we talk about the stuff that we like outside of thrash, we pretty much come around full circle to cover just about everything. So
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
much.
so it's also from I listen to everything, like from power metal to thrash, over thrash to death metal. I'm really into death metal at the moment, with like new Cannibal Corpse or new Dying Fetus records.
Yeah,
really great.
Yeah.
So it's really groovy. So that's stuff I like.
And see, that's another one of the cool things about the metal, and I wish I could experience it live and in person, but I don't. I would love to get over to Europe at some point, just in general, but also for the music. But I mean, you literally have every genre of heavy metal in Europe. Any genre you want, it's over there. Metalcore is over there. Power metal's over there. Death metal's over there. Black metal's over there. Thrash is over there. I mean, it's all over there. It's not like that over here. Like Jason said, I mean, we've got thrash metal and groove metal pretty much covered, and there are pockets of the United States that are
there's a lot of
where the metalcore comes from. Yeah, there's a lot of pockets of metalcore here, but you're not gonna find. I mean, power metal, it's here. It's
not
here. It's here, but you got to look for it. And then death metal is here, but it's it's a little more sporadic. But I mean, Europe, you can find everything in Europe, and I love that. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And that's cool. And it's also cool because, like you said, even though Switzerland is a smaller country, you're not far in it. Like you go pretty much, just a few hours in any direction, and you're in another country. So I mean, don't have to go too far to drive into another band's kind of backyard. So.
No. That's in Switzerland. I mean, you can go every night. You can go out to concerts, like metal concerts. It's like death metal, black metal, everything. Within 1 week, you will have a black metal concert or a death metal concert or power metal concert somewhere within an action radius of 2 hours. So that's great.
So in Switzerland, you can, like you say, you could go almost every night. Because when Jason mentioned them earlier in the show, we were talking to Anzalu, and they're in Finland, and obviously Finland is a much larger country than Switzerland. But he said that basically shows are Friday, Saturday. That's basically how it goes up there in Finland. Everything is basically relegated to 2 nights of the week, unless you're a huge band. You're a huge band, So basically, anyone who's local or maybe a little bit more up and coming, it's like you get shows on Friday and Saturday, and that's it. So
of course, for local bands, they mostly play on the weekends.
So it's still a little bit.
I mean, the tours they play Switzerland on every day of the week. It depends when they are in town. So that's I mean, every day you have like 2 or 3 metal concerts in Switzerland every day. So but sometimes it's too much for such a small country.
Right. Yeah.
It was funny too because we were it wasn't Anzilla. Who was the band we talked to that was doing the lead singer was doing the live broadcast from the woods.
That was Anzalu.
Was it?
No.
No, it wasn't.
No, that was Arched Fire.
Arched Fire, yeah, Christian.
Arched Fire. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he was the lead singer, and he was doing the podcast from the woods.
Yeah,
he was on a hike or something.
Yeah, he was literally holding his phone up, walking through the woods, and then I believe it was the drummer. The drummer was in his sauna.
Yeah. And they're
Finland.
Yeah, they're from Finland as well. So,
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny that we kept telling him, it's like, man, you're gonna like walk right up into a black metal video, and you keep going out there in the woods like that. So it was pretty funny.
Yeah, he was gonna run into Behemoth or something.
Pretty cool. Oh man, we're coming up on 2 hours here, so guess we'll try to end it on that note. And Mark, man, we appreciate you stopping in and talking to us about the Children of the Snake EP and all other things, Contorsion there. So,
yep.
And hopefully we can put this out and get you some more followers and listeners over there, man. Because like I said, you're missing out if they're not listening to it, man. It's like I've been missing out for all these years.
Yeah,
I'm mad about it. So,
oh yeah, same. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys, because it was I really appreciate to be on this show. It was the first time for me to be on a live podcast, and it was really fun.
Well, that's awesome. We're glad we're your first, man. So
yeah.
Hopefully we made it feel comfortable, and
very.
You feel like you could do this 13 more times in 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, I could. It's always fun talking about metal, hearing stories from other guys, and talking about music. That's a great thing, and it's also great for us that people probably see now what band we are, and probably I could give them an impression of how we work as a band, and they say, okay, I will give him a listen. So that's what I hope.
And it's so crazy how like different bands are. Like even we talked to like all these different bands on it, and they do things so differently. It's just wow.
Yeah.
Like, even recording, like we've talked to bands like, oh no, we do vocals first, and it was like, oh wow, like
okay,
yeah. I'm like, I've never heard that before. It's like
me too.
So I was like, wow, really? I was like. I can't remember what band that was that told us that, and I was just blown away. I was just blown away by that. I was like, usually it's all music, then you add the vocals. It's like
normally yes.
Yeah.
And then like one guy tells us, yeah, we record everything right back there. He had like his little soundboard like right over his shoulder. Yeah, like right over there. Right there.
A lot of bands do it like this today.
Yeah.
I mean, the pre-production we do also in our rehearsal space, but we go into the studio because it's much more convenient, and you can concentrate really on playing instead of I have to edit and stuff like that. It's for me, it would be too much stress. We did it with the first album. We did the recordings ourselves, but I would never do it again.
He's like, what was
it Ashes Rain that they was talking about? They do the rehearsals and stuff before they go into the studio, because that way they got everything down before they go in, and then they don't have to pay so many hours for the studio. So which is pretty smart.
Vinny told us that. Yep.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. But it's so crazy how like all the different bands do different things, but it seems to work well for everybody, because I mean, like I said, a lot of quality music out there. So the thing that like got me, I don't know if you've seen this, Chris, but Loudwire posted earlier, said, "Oh, 40 new albums came out today. What are you listening to?" I was like, 40. Motherfucker, I'm looking at 104. Like, where did 40?
Yeah, we got a lot more than 40. Yeah.
So thanks to Heavy Music HQ for giving us all of the albums that come
all
out,
the albums, exactly.
Not just names that Loudwire thinks we know about.
Yeah, that's great for us too. That you get those on your radar.
Well, we used to use Loudwire for that, and then we were coming across stuff on YouTube, and I'm just like, when the hell did this come out? And they're like, oh, this week. I go back and look. I'm like, no, I don't have that listed on here. So then we had to we finally ran into this. I finally started researching and ran into this Heavy Music HQ, and I'm like comparing them. And like Loudwire, I have like 45 or so on there.
We've never had 45 from Loudwire.
On a good week. Well, just saying, on a good week. And maybe 40, 45. And then this other one, I have like 3 pages of shit. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that's way better. Because we were having trouble going in and finding bands that we didn't know with Loudwire, because sometimes they'd have a big list, and I'm like, okay, I know all these bands. It's like,
right, that was the problem.
It's like we're not doing our job if we're just reviewing bands that everybody already knows. I mean, that's the whole point of our show. So So then we, luckily we ran into Heavy Music HQ, and they've got us on the right track now.
They do. Yeah.
So, but I always give Loudwire hell when they post that stuff too. It's like, and actually, I think I commented on that post. I'm like 40. I said I see 104. I bet they're wondering, going, where the hell is he saying 104 at? Not Loudwire.
That's for us to. That's for us to know.
That's right. That's right. Again, thank you, Mark, for taking time out. I know it was early morning over there, and we really do appreciate you jumping on this early in the morning with us from over there. So,
yeah,
great.
Yeah, we'll definitely get the information for Dana over to you. We'll get the videos posted over to the Facebook group, and everybody look for the interview on YouTube and on Spotify here in the next few days. And yeah, Mark, feel free to share it, man. It's absolutely no
Of course
problem.
we will.
Yeah, absolutely. And we hope to do this again sooner than later, man.
Yeah, would be a pleasure to do it again.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate it, Mark. Man, you have a good day.
Yeah, have a good Saturday.
Yeah, you too.
Mark. We appreciate it.
Have a good sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Bye, Mark. Take care, man. Mark Toretti from Contorsion, everybody.
Awesome. Great dude, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Again, just one of these down to earth. I mean, just metal guys, just genuinely good dude. I mean, just really all you can say. I mean, just a good dude in a good band making great music. Just making music when he can with his bandmates. Like you said, they're all good friends. They get together when they can. They do it as much as they can, and we're gonna try to help them out as much as we can.
So go out and check out the new EP, Children of the Snake, of course, and then of course you can go back and check out a lot of their back catalog as well.
For all of our fellow thrash metal fans, I mean, you go back to like I say, go to Spotify and check out the catalog over there. You got 3 LPs and 2 EPs. You could probably listen to the entire catalog. Let's see, if I remember correctly, in 4 hours.
Yeah.
If that, because I know the EPs are both 25 minutes a piece.
Mm-hmm.
So, right there, you got 12 songs on 2 EPs. You're talking like less than an hour. And then each of the LPs are right around 45 minutes each, give or take. Yeah. So, I mean, you could knock out their entire catalog in an afternoon. Like you say, if you're a thrash metal fan like us, you're not going to go wrong.
No. Definitely check them out. Show them some love over there on Spotify and YouTube and all their socials. Go follow them on there and keep up to date with them.
Yep.
Great band. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. So, if you like Testament bands like that, you'll love these guys. You'll love these guys. They're right in that category with those guys. So,
absolutely.
Cool. Like I said, we appreciate Mark taking time out of his morning to chat with us a little bit, and hopefully things go well. They'll get the ball rolling over there, man, and start taking off a little bit. So I know it's not unheard of. Like I said, we taught the Eyes of the Living where they had put the band on hold for family for 20, 25 years and then got back together. So I mean, it's,
right.
It happens. So
yeah, never say never.
Yeah. So. And like I said, they're putting out quality shit too in their 40s. I mean, it's like, these it's almost like the more these bands mature, the better they get. Whether they putting out constant work or not. So it's pretty cool to see. So
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let me fix the brainer here real quick. And as you all know, that we do play music 24/7 over at stream.trulyradio247.com/8006/stream. And then also we do have the merch store at www.metalheadsuniteusa.com.
Yep.
You can check out some stuff there. And actually, I didn't get a chance to do a lot on vacation, but that's okay. I will make up for it this weekend, I'm sure. So, I didn't get a chance to go in there and mess with a lot of stuff. But I do want to put some winter stuff up for for the winter folks.
Yep.
Some hoodies and toboggans and that kind of stuff. So
Oh yeah.
check it out. There's a lot of good stuff over there.
And of course, we do have the metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com email address. Drop us a line. Follow us on our Facebook group. Send us a member request. We'll get you guys hooked up. And we've got the Instagram and TikTok, like I mentioned earlier in the show. And we've got the YouTube channel. We got the Spotify for the music. We got the radio station. We've got what else we got? We got Twitch, and we have Rumble. So, I mean, we got a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah. Yep. So once again, thanks for Mark Toretti from Contorsion for joining us, and then hope we'll be back next week. So far, we'll be back with the regular content. So
yep.
Come back and check us out for all of that. And until then, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime we can.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.